Okay, let's see. Welcome. Let's type something out real quick. Yeah, we always start a little bit early these days. Just about a minute so I can check and see if mic is on. Welcome. I'm going to type a message. What is it? The, please. There we go. If it comes down to it, I might have to pin this message here. Make sure everyone sees it, you know. Welcome, Cookie. We can get started. Let's get going here. Oh, excuse me. Alrighty. So unfortunately, I haven't had time between streams. So basically, what we got here is basically what we had last time. I haven't touched it. So the Izzy puppet's virtually the same as what we had last time. So we'll continue right up from where we left off last time. But yeah, welcome guys. Come on in. Hi, Cameron Dragon, and I guess a little late. Hello, Cookie to you, and Cameron Dragon, welcome, and everyone else who's hasn't commented yet, welcome. I know I've had some. Had a comment recently saying that one person couldn't make it to the stream, so hello to you. Sorry that time and place don't quite work out for you. So there you go. I see ya. But yeah. Here we go. Let's get going. So technically, it is basically the same as from last time. So, if you don't remember, I got this magic head rotatey, and I'm able to get it to positions. So this is the master controller inside of Toon Boom. Doesn't always work with the eyes, but they're like independent. So if I just go in and like go into here, and then like move these around, then I can move these independently. So it'll be okay, and then they should like kind of like stick. So obviously it shouldn't be like going whoop 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 the entire time with it. So we'll have to figure that out. Yep, horn is not connected because I haven't finished the master controller. It's really weird of like how it's sort of it becomes sticky in a sense where it'll remember all the poses and stuff. Even if you add new deformers, it might remember that. But if you add a new piece, then it'll be like, no, I don't see you. But hello, hello Elijah. So master controllers are really. I'm still trying to figure things out of it. There's still a lot of mystery in it, but once it looks good, it's very powerful and looks really great when you get it right. So all right, let's get going. So let me get to the right pose here. That'll be this one. So we're gonna start with a front view because I think that's gonna work the best. Because if I start and try to make everything look good at a 3/4, which would be like this kind of view, then it might not work if I flip it to go the other way with this one. So if I have it be front, then I can just kind of shift all the pieces over one side, and then to have it face this way, and then when it faces the other way, I can shift everything over. It's really weird semantic-y, but I think that should work better. So that's why I'm working with this view here for right now. With the front view. Let's go into the head. We got this huge noodle mess. It probably could stand to have a little bit of. It's organized in a sense where all the eyes are here and the head bips, all the different head, snout, mouths, ears bips are, and the hair. Got rid of the hair from the sunny one. But we got the horn. So again, I haven't really messed with it too much, but the horn cut has this little design, so if I move the horn around, it can still keep its silhouette, but I can change the design in the middle. So I think that'll be really important and fun to play with. Okay. So next thing would be to actually start creating different pieces for the hair, so we'll have to name some of these. So I'm just gonna look at here and see what matches up between these, all these, and what's in common. It is gonna be tricky with this volume of hair. You might start thinking like, oh, well, this is a curl, so let me make it one piece, or this is a separate little whoopity whoop over here, or is this one big piece? Is this like two pieces? So I have to like kind of like sketch it out and try to figure out like exactly know what I want and try to work backwards from there. So probably something closer to this where, excuse me, this one has only like one. I can like divide this up, like and cut it up between here and be a little circle there, and then a back one, and then this might be one piece or something with this little crescent moony shape here will definitely have to be its own separate piece. So at least 3 or 4 just for the main. It might have to be some special ones to hide the horn, so I could have a front and back. But yeah. Let's see here. Whoop, wrong button. There it is. Forgot where my keyboard for my hand button is. Hello, John. Thanks for the @ hello. I see you there. Let's get going here. So I'm gonna need a. These are all gonna be here. I'll start from these. Probably just front will probably be this bip, and then I'll need a. I don't know what to call these little things. These little, I visually know what it is, but I just want to know what it's called. It's like a front side little. It's a fall off hair strand front strand. I'm gonna call it front strand. Strand of hair. Not front. So now I'm gonna do like side. Probably like do. This might connect. It's probably like side short, I think, maybe. And then side long will be the left side here. So I'll have a couple of those. I can always divide these up and like make even more. That's kind of what I did with Sunny, is that I had a couple and then it just didn't quite work out with animation, so I had to like divide it up and add more deformers and add more crazy stuff to make it easier to move around. But it just made this, I filled up this whole box with elements. Yeah. Hello, cartoons. Hello again. Alrighty. So let's get going on this. This is a weird, boring rigging for all these pieces. Okay, I have all these pieces here. So these all go in to here. I might need that horn cut or like above thing just to make sure. In a sense, maybe I might not need it exact. Well, not the deformers that I might as well be playing around with. I think that might actually be easier. I was thinking that I could have a sub layer for it to cut between, because you imagine the hair either being in this section, either be in front or behind that horn. So there wouldn't be a place naturally for the horn to sit in front, but then also get cut, which means that it's invisible at this point here. So it's kind of like I have to have some sort of thing in front of it to sandwich the horn in between this back shape and the front of it, so that it actually stops at a point at the bottom. So I think might just having it be a separate element might be easier than trying to put it inside of the front section here, because then I can do more deformer stuff with it, so I can actually like how I did with the nose with this snoot, is that it's its own element here that has, I think it's just like a straight line or something that I made it. So there's a lot of like weird ways of like I have to like make them draw it not in the way that it should, like it doesn't exist at this really frame here. except maybe at the front. But once it goes off to the side, the deformers kind of dictate the different shapes of it. So you can see like how the curve of it changes as I move it across. So weird stuff like that. So I might have to do that the same way. But yeah. Let's see as we organize this. Always will need pegs, of course. And then all these will probably also need deformers, but can't really deform them without having the deformer themselves, or even the drawings themselves, so. There you go, making a little thing there. Okay. Everything that I've pretty much done up to now is very Toon Boom specific, so if it doesn't make sense or not following along, that's okay. None of this is going to be like in Photoshop or anything like that, so not sure about that. Okay dokie. Let's start drawing. Where should we start? Let's see. Because I could just start with the front and just kind of work around it. Or maybe we can have like I'll just have like a hair sketch and then work around that. That might be easier. Just to get something and then I can draw that out. Rather than trying to do it one at a time. I think that might be a little bit easier for me to think about it. Okay. I'm making this up as I go along. It's sort of how it feels. It's like I'm just gonna keep playing around and then not really have like a for sure like I'm gonna do it this way and this is how it's gonna go kind of method. It's kind of like I'm gonna play around with it and then see what do I need to do this right. I already said hello. Have I watched Discovery Channel? Not recently. Is there like a pony show or something related to it? I think you mentioned you talked about the Discovery Channel last time too, where you thought you wanted ponies on there or something, and I was like, why aren't they on the or you wanted them on Disney Plus because you thought the Disney owns yeah, they own Nat Geo, but not Discovery. I think that's how it is. So yeah. I think the answer's the same with that. Okay, and then let's just eyeball all of this and then we'll figure it out. I haven't drawn these characters either yet, so a lot of this is just trying to spitball it. Kind of spit and see where it lands, kind of a thing here. Okay, I'm gonna keep using all my references. Be as careful as I can with this. Let's see. And then I know this is gonna turn into this probably. Right, yeah. You're right about that. I'm just wondering if there was a wondering if there's a point to it, honestly. Where are you going with that? What's the next step in that? Okay. So obviously this will be probably behind, I think, but that's pretty long for what I want. Probably have the other one like down to here or something really far. Well, yeah, it gets like almost, well, she's like leaning slightly forward and down. It might be like, yeah, about to like maybe like the knee or kneecaps, I guess. Let's see. It's supposed to be like a new piece. This one has it pointy. This one sort of goes into her curls. Anything, yeah. Anything that kind of just ends with a curl here is probably going to be slightly accurate. Okay. Might have to be super curly. Just to exaggerate that a little bit more. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I got so paranoid of how I got the pony life. I started watching that animation on stream and I got Hasbro found it. So I'm just kind of scared to like use like actual reference I know it'll be pictures, but I feel like I should probably just use their press stuff that they probably would feel okay with. You know, I'm here now. Why to spend like 10 minutes like going through the wiki and stuff? I mean, will that be more fun? I don't know. It's definitely a reference. I'm just wondering if it's now worth my time to go back and go, maybe I should spend some time, let's dig around in it, Let's see. I just kind of move this up a little bit. Or we just move this up and over. Okay. Sorry, it's really hot in here. I'm getting snarky. Sorry about that. Okay. Bleh, 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 bleh. So that look pretty good, at least the silhouette and everything. Because then I'll just be going in and cleaning this up rather than really terraforming it. Let's see. This becomes the separating line. I have to make this long to make sure that there's enough overhang. Okay. I think this may work. Let's see. And hello, Sasha, I think. Welcome. I'm gonna give her a pit spinning around on server like she's on its face on the okay, something like that. Spin around on sound jiggle. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I would have to. This is basically all I have is right now is able to spin it front-wise 3/4 on both ends. So maybe, yeah, to be able to do that, I would have to spend a little bit longer making the back views. Make those dreaded profile views. Never been a huge fan of profile views, so I explained it once that it's like, yeah, it feels amateurish when I see like baby animators use profile views. It's like, ugh. It just doesn't seem to oops. Oh, I got into the wheel of death. Okay, good. We got out. Okay, so now I got this as a base. Probably should put it at the bottom so I can draw on top of it. And then hair out, hair fill. Oh yeah, the fun thing is that her hair has slight gradient. Well, it doesn't have that much of a gradient with the actual 3D one. Not as much by this one does. That's interesting. Everything but the 3D really has the gradient more apparent. Huh. I can definitely just go back in and just go into here and like make this a little bit less. Just add that slight tint, I guess. You can see at the bottom and then it kind of gets a little bit red. So I was getting more worried about how I would have to gradient to multiple pieces, sharing a gradient and have them be work together. So yeah, so maybe it'll be okay. Maybe it's not as stark or it doesn't turn lavender or purple, reddish color all the way at the bottom here of all these. So okay, let's get going and start drawing. Okay, here out. So it'll be this bit. Oops, try to drag it over. Bye, Sasha. Thank you for joining. Let's make it pretty much be like this, and then elongate this just a bit. So what I'm planning on is that I can have this be like a hole at the bottom, and then I'll be able to fill it with an object behind it, with the long flowing hair to be behind it. So this has to like line up well. It's a lot of layering issues that I can now kind of see what's going on, so that's good. Okay. So technically complicated that I'm making it. So what's going on here? Beep, 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 beep. Oop, excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, if this was like a still image or like a still puppet kind of style where it's more Family Guy style, like it's gonna be usually one view and you're not gonna really over animate it, then it could definitely be less or draw more caution to the wind of this. But it's like, yeah, I feel like with what I want to do, it's like it's gonna be more beneficial to just go ahead and go all out with trying to do these more crazy tricks of trying to do these more head rotatey style here. Whoop, oh, okay. Be able to have the head rotate, have it feel 3D like. It's like a light 3D style. You know, I probably should have done was just made this a stroke, and then I might have solved a lot of these little issues that I'm now facing with this. So let's just go back, get a phone call, and then we'll be real good. Okay, that's taken care of. That's a stroke. This one. Okay. Hair frill. Probably should have like another hair frill that's not a gradient. That's like the kind of the blue part. So I don't have to worry about it being the full gradient. So I could just have it be solid and be this color. Maybe like that. Okay. So that's that bit. We got that. That's going. See what I mean? It's you have to like layer the horn in between the different pieces. So that's where the horn cut is going to come into play here. So let's see how to do that. Yeah. So that has to be on front of the horn, which I'll probably just use Z depth and then just go from there. So let's see. I saw some green here. That's okay. Line art. Good. Hair out. So we'll see this line. What I could do trickier is that I can have it be an actual cutter for the horn and have it be as large as I want. That might work. Let's try that. Because I was going to do like the more what I'm used to with Flash and just have it be this squared and cover it up and layer it on top and whatever. But I think I could probably use some Toon Boom features to hopefully make like a more sophisticated cutter to be to have it work. Instead, I have magnet on, but it's still slightly not as magnetized as I would like. So I'm gonna go ahead and just, for the fun of it, just have it go overboard or overlap the skull there and see what that looks like. Okay. And then let's fill it with the There, no gradient. Beep. Okay, and then cut this onto the color art layer. So now we got the line art that has just this line on top. Color art, sketch gone. And so we'll have separated into the line art. Beep. So now I should always show that. And then the color art. Beep. And so instead of having to go out, we want it to go into a cutter. And then get this cutter into here. And then get me a message. Let's see that. Ooh, I like your profile picture. Whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, they're able to do that a little bit simpler as the they have a 3D model to work with. Yeah, it would take a little bit to show that, to create that. As you see, like, it's just taking this long to make this one view. But yeah, this has zip, pip, zip, animated and rotating around. So stuff like this is gonna be a little tricky. It's not a bad idea, but yeah, it's gonna be. It's not quite realistic in what I got so far. I'll use that as a reference. Ah. You know, that would help in some cases. I don't know. I would just need like one each view or something, yeah. Horn. I just need the horn of everything. Because I could put the horn, all these go into there. Are these separate? They just kind of go next to each other. So what I want is to combine the entire thing, so I'm gonna boop, and then combine these into here and here. So the horn still exists, and if I hide this, that's both of the pieces of the horn. And I could bring it into here, bring the cutter for here. Let's see what that looks like. Flip it. Might not work because the horn still is on top. Beep. Again, these little cutter things always take a while to figure out just what do I need. That's sort of what we're going for, is that it's cutting the horn itself, so maybe it has to be the other way. And then we'll get the horn again. Beep, up, beep, bah. That's it. Okay. And if I do it the other way. Yeah, this is reverse of it. Now it's existing the other way. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, now it should just show the horn. And so now I can have the color art be as large as I want. And if I move this around, I can hide the horn at the bottom. Okay, so that's the little fun, weird stuff of like, yeah, I can do this. All these will need to go into the head as well. All these pegs. Let's see here. Let's just do that real quick. Let's bring the head down, and then connect all these. So when I move the head, all the hair pieces should also move. So I'll have to get all these to have a connection. So I'm basically like having it so that when I move the head, everything that's connected downward now is linked together. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to move like that. If I disconnect like the sketch, then if I move the head, then the sketch doesn't move because I unlinked it between the noodle. The noodle creates a connection between the different elements. So it creates this hierarchy that makes it really fun to play around with. Okay, get in there. that little bit was a little tricky to think about, but there we go. Okay, move on. I think there's, well, obviously there's 4 more pieces to go here. Somebody shouldn't take too long. Actually, we did this bit, so 3 pieces. And everything here will also need deformers, so I can actually animate them well. So let's work on that later. Outer Strand, that's that bit. Let's just go ahead and just draw that in. Here, outline. Let's draw it right on here. There you go. Blue gradient. Oops, missed. Okay, so this is an important part of her hair anatomy, I guess. Probably want it on top. See what that looks like, and then I can remove this line. And then it's kind of connected. Connected between the this bit and that part. Okay, cool. I'm sure it's gonna get really crazy in trying to actually move this around, but just trying to draw it is that's it. That's a short side, so I wanted it to be this one. Okay. Just draw all these out. And so it's gonna connect somewhere. Probably start here and just kind of get this to be as close as like to the curve as I can. And it to be a little bit shorter. Okay, so I can't do that crazy curve there, but that'll be okay, because I'll have much more crazy curves to play around with anyway. So okay, and this will go behind, and then I need to see where it connects. Let's fill it just to see what this looks like with the right color. Okay. That looks okay. See that there's something going on here. That'll be okay. Looks like it lost the rounded tip, I guess. Start round, beep. There you go. And you go out. And you go out. Okay. Cool. Let's see here. Is this even looking remotely okay? Am I doing okay, guys? I feel like I'm just getting so worked up in the technical bits, but it's like that's half of it in a way of just trying to get this to work, as I think. So, yeah, I sort of had to really dial in and figure out these very weird and minute technical bits as I go along. Okay. That's that, and this one. May want to make it 2 pieces or try to figure it out, or it'll be okay. Might want to make the curly curl here be its own piece, but I think for right now it's gonna be just fine. Great. Okay. So actually it's looking moderately cute. I'll say that's a win. Beep. Okay. Okay. Let's move this out. Same with Flash. It always gets a little tricky when I just want to like start a Bezier curve. That's what these kind of handles are to get these vectors. To be able to like activate them is a little tricky sometimes. It's like they're like too shy at the beginning, as I have to like wake them up to actually start moving, so I can actually start playing around with them. Because otherwise they start glitching out. It's like that's a little fortunate there to. It's adding points when I'm just trying to like create a Bezier curve in the first place, and so that's where it's getting a little tricky here. Oh, annoying. Not gonna lie there. Okay. You have to like wake up the Beziers to at the start, because if it once it's like straight is like it's not gonna. So right now I want to like curve it to be one way, so it's like I want a Bezier curve to just move it down, but as I like move it just slightly and then select it, and then it creates these Bezier curves that I can then move around. So it's kind of like every single point and line I have to like wake up the line, and then it creates this point in the middle, and it's like pointless to me. Yeah. This one didn't even create an other side. I want to move this down, but it's not letting me. As it didn't create a Bezier curve for me to movable operate him. Okay. Almost there. Let's move this down and then make this real curvy. Yeah. That's good. Feel no gradient. Beep. Okay. She's kind of like snugged in the middle right now with all of her hair. Okay. We'll add some details. Maybe Billy's just trying to get the all the pieces going. So I think that's basically all the pieces, I think, of all the different sections. It'll just be dividing up these sections and then rigging all the deformers now. So there we go. Okay, let's get rid of this sketch, or at least just hide it for now. Don't need to see that. Then I'll just be up to going into each of these and saying, hey, you want to be a different shape? And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, we can do that. And trying to select this one. Okay. Oh, it actually, horn itself is actually falling into the crack there. And then just kind of move it up. Okay. I want to move this one in Z depth. So everything's in has X, Y, Z coordinates. So I'm able to move things into the distance, or like 3D. Ooh, it's going farther and closer to me. As it's actually going in 3D space, like with this. There's 3D space, so it's actually, yep, select it right. Maybe it doesn't actually let me, oh, I can't do Z space in perspective mode? Wow, okay. Let's move it forward in space, and then it's like, whoa. So it's actually moved in 3D space right now. So weird stuff like that I can do. Instead of trying to like fiddle with it, with all these different layers of comps and stuff, it's like, yeah, let's just actually just move it in 3D space. That should actually work a little better. Sometimes that's the solution. It helps too, like with just like moving things in animation. Like you need someone to like move their hand from behind a table in front of it. It's like you're not gonna like have to, you have to like have either two hands on different layers, or just do so many other crazy stuff to be able to do something simple like that. Well, it seems simple, and like moving from one quote layer into another does get tricky. Let's see here. So I'll just play with these Bezier curves and cleaning up some of these a little bit more. Probably take some of these and just centerize this a little bit. Okay. Thinking I could have this and this. Cut this little line here. This line can't data connects between here and here. Wonder what that would look like. I don't know. Let me get the anchor points in the right place, so I don't have to worry about that later. So they all kind of start in the center of the actual middle of the canvas. So that's not what I want. That's good. And so when I rotate it, it should be, the axis of rotation should be up there, because that's where it's like it's hinging. I can also add more crazy stuff like dynamic springs or something. I think that's something in here. Is there like a... right? Yeah, dynamic spring exists. I'm not the best at it, so I'm not quite sure how to actually work it. I haven't done enough practice, but look at that. We get some physics with this dynamic spring. If you do it right, you can have 2 different points, like at the bottom and the top, whichever way you want to think about it. And then with the tension and scales and stuff, it creates it so like when you move your, like how my derpy head in the corner has, where it kind of like has physics in a sense and has tension that when I move it quickly, the hair isn't little corner. If you watch like right here, it doesn't stay in place, you know, it's not rigid. It has a physicality, and like when I move it, it's kind of like, ooh, I'm bouncing a little bit. So it has that little tiny physics of dynamic spring style, where it kind of like moves around. So might want to play with this on my own time, so I don't embarrass myself trying to figure this out on stream. Well, there you go. Okay. What should we do next? Should we try to do that cutter? I don't know if it'll work, really. Or how much it'll really benefit. But maybe. Let's try it. I think I could just, like, literally just cut between itself. So it's the side long and front here. You could probably just do this, and sometimes this works. Just go back and forth to figure out which way is which. Yeah, something like that. That works. And then this one, side long. I think it's the other one now. Oop. Trying to select things. It's like too many things. Does it actually do anything at this point? What is it actually cutting? Beep. Oh yeah. It's cutting at this intersection here. So if I have the other piece, this one, if I cut this line, this might work. Beep. So now they're like weirdly joined together. What did that look like before? Oh yeah, I had that cool curve, so I'm gonna preserve that curve. Can't busy that one now. Unfortunate. But I kind of like joins them together a little bit nicer. So it seems more seamless like that. So instead of that weird connection where it had this line that connected at that corner. So that's good. Okay. We can add maybe some details. Should we clean up anything? I think we're good. Let's move some of these. I can move this down a little bit. Make that a little bit thinner. Let's see. Oh, it kind of hides up that patches, that intersection there. So that's nice. There's a little intersection right here. It's not too bad, but this can like cover it up. So that's good. Okay. Let's get out of that. Go back to timeline. Okay. This next thing would be if I get all of the pictures good and I get the deformers into all of them. The next step would then be to get the extra angles. So I've only drawn them. I've only exposed their drawings of the hair pieces onto one frame. So it's only on this one little domino piece here. So obviously it needs to exist for every frame to always have the hair on every frame. So I'll have to select all of these and just kind of go back and have these points here. I can just get rid of all the drawings. Okay, drawing. And say drawing exposed for all of these. This one, oh, the ones with the little shapes. And then go all the way over here. Select all the frames at the end there. There you go. Okay, so obviously it's a little bit messy. So we'll have to play with Z'd up and try to figure things out, but that should all exist for all these. And then it's just be up to moving these pieces around, deforming them, and figuring it out. I think that's good for now. Okay, let's add the deformers real quick while we're here. Trying to figure out whether or not I should just do this on stream or if some of this is gonna be kind of tedious and kind of slow. I don't know how exciting it'll be. What am I technical, trying to figure things out is more fun, or want to see drawing of horses and stuff? We'll definitely get to animating the horses. Definitely next week we'll get the storyboard, you know, quote finalized, and then work with that to animate the rest of the cartoon. Okay, so I'm gonna just go through each of these, see if I can like isolate it. And obviously I can't see the rest of it, so that's a little annoying. Oh, little hammer and wrench button here. That allows me to make curved deformers, and that's this button. So I'm just gonna go through each of these and add a bunch of these. So that allows me to move this around. Cool. Okay. And by separating it, I can now, on each frame, move this around where I need to and angle the exact position and curve for every keyframe. So I can animate it with that. And it creates this little box here. So I can also edit those as well. Okay. Some of these are probably a little bit just as simple. Let's see. I'm thinking for this one, I'm probably gonna need a curve around with different amount of points. Add several points around the silhouette, so I can do a little bit more specific deformations. Because that other one, it was basically, there wasn't much really to think about with that one, but this one I have to like sort of just kind of go around the perimeter, I guess. And so that'll allow me to get these right curves. So I guess on every keyframe I can like move this around now. I don't know if it has to be like super perfect. I know when you get it like wrong, then it's like definitely doesn't work as well as you expect it to. But now the point about it was just trying to get this bit to be free form, So I can like move this in like very small increments based on what angle, head angle it is. Front strand. This should be something simple, or we could do the silhouette as well, with it as well. Beep. Now that I know what kind of shape I kind of want it to be, I'm gonna actually change the silhouette so it actually might be a little bit simpler to work with. So I just make this literally a triangle first, elongate it. We just do it straight. So that's the problem, is that I have to like reconfigure a lot of this because I know that I probably wanted to put it into like a default like T-pose style kind of angle, and then work with this to have add in the curve that I want rather than baking it into the shape itself. So otherwise it would be like baked into like always being into that crescent C-shaped curve. Where is it? Tricky. But yeah, trying to make it so it's in a default pose so it can go either way at this point now. Ooh, gotta really select these a little bit more carefully. And so now with this, instead of it being always like over here and bended and like this all the time, and then trying to get it to be the reverse, and it's like, you know, completely freaking out, I can just have it be very basic, simplified, and then mold it into the exact shape that I want for here. And then I can use my sketch again. So I kept that. And then it's like selecting multiple things at the same time. It's like I had to like stop, select the next thing you want, stop, select the next thing. Okay. So that's that. That's how I did like the sunny hairs as well. Is that I did something like that. How are we doing? Might have time to make like 1/3 view just to get the idea, and then it's just gonna be on my own time making all the other views and utter wackiness. Okay. This might just need. This is so complex of a silhouette. I might just need to make like one line, and then hopefully that might work. Cause I'm scared of like how I'm gonna. Might have to add more curls or add more shapes to it. So if I make this the perfect silhouette and perimeter, whatever you want to call it, of making this perfect with all these different little bumps might be too much. Because then as well as to spend time on every frame of these, conforming these. So I might just want to, I don't know where I am, side short, make this one just one line or 2 points like this, and then hopefully it'll work. Maybe the dynamic screen will also seem okay. Hello. That's something I can't read, so hello. I got a smiley face, so I appreciate that. Let's search. I'm seeing that you're confused. You're confused. What's so... It's complicated. It's confusing and complicated. Yes. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. That's kind of... That's sort of how it has to go. Cutouts, which is the style that I'm working with. Cutout style, puppet style. not frame by frame. Like I'm not drawing every single frame every single time. Not starting from scratch every single time. I have to make these more complicated puppets so I can make sure that these do kind of stay relatively work for multiple frames over time. So yeah, so in a sense it's like, yeah, it's like, why are you spending so much time trying to make something very, very complex? It's like, well, the more time that I spend into it, making it more complex actually is more beneficial for the long run. If I use these for a whole cartoon or more, you know, like if I had to animate like a half-hour movie or something, then more time that I spent rigging this up, the easier it'll be to later on animate it. We're just going like, oh, I have all these controls, beep, you know, and go. Purpose is that I could then go, you know, 100 frames in, I would have all these pieces set up, and it's like, oh, I need to have this hair be at this angle, and it's like, whoop, you know, or flip it around, and it's like, whoops, it's a different angle now. That actually kind of looks pretty nice. That's not the style that I see here, so, oh well. But yeah, now I can like play around with all these different pieces around, and be like, okay. Now I can move all these around and animate them over time. Without these controls, I would probably go crazy and try to make 100 different variations of them. Trying to make them work on multiple frames, or have like a, this is like for front view and this one's for 3/4, and it's a different picture for every single angle. So this is 3/4 left, front, and then right. So I would have to spend much more time creating much more drawings in a sense, but by using all these different pictures and poses with the Deformers who've already created assets, then it kind of saves times on that sense. So and then it can save me time on trying to make something, you know, interpolate with the magic head turn stuff. So it works out real nice. Okay, let's try to make the 3/4. Let's see how long that'll take to do. Gotta just show it in practice. That's what I would do. Okay. So everything needs a, there's a lot of stuff. Dynamic spring doesn't do anything right now. That might come back to bite me because I'm not worrying about it right now. If I put these in a too perfect place and a dynamic spring, it's like offsets it, its position a little bit off, then that's gonna be bad. So I'll just go through each element. I also have to go into every single curve and add keyframes onto each of these as well. So that's just gonna take a little bit of time to add all these keyframes into that, into this one. Beep, beep. Some of these don't have too many curves, so that's good. Let's see. Complex. I draw a unicorn. Let me bring this into Google Translate real quick. Detect. Beep. Very complex shape of the main, lot of work. Yes! It only gets more complex. The longer you work with it, it's like, okay. Because I was going to do this real simple, and it just turned out to be very long-winded to figure stuff like this out. Try to get a horn cut to work. Yeah. Might have to write that in Russian as well, Cookie. Let's see. Okay, so I have all these. I want to see both of these at the same time. Oops, selecting everything. So I gotta select everything. And let's see here. And I want to see the Deformers. Okay, so I think the horn's in a pretty good spot too. So let's see. The horn's gonna sort of determine where the horn cut is. You probably like also kind of rotate it maybe a little bit too. Yep. And then let's kind of move everything over a little bit. Oh, we could probably have just start from here. Want this one to be in front, so I'll use my Z-Dep to move it in front. Yep. And then I'm just gonna break that, but this will move over and go behind. Okay, and then this will go over here. This and this are now over here. And then we'll just start playing with the Deformers. So it's literally just kind of sculpting these to be in a slightly different position. It'd be as if, I'm thinking about it as if the whole head rotated is the point of this. So I can see between here and here and see that the picture here kind of moved around. So that's interesting. Huh. I have a keyframe here, but it doesn't respect it. No respect. And then I'll just kind of move this back over. They were like overlapping. Who even knows? I don't know at this point what's what's going on. So it's over there, and then over here. Okay, and then let's try chunking this over. Before you move it with the Deformers, let's move the whole position of it. So there you go. Seems like the cutter might be not quite working as expected, so I might actually want to remove it in a sense. Remove the cutter, and then, well, not that bit. Did I move the cutter? Oh yeah, there was no cutter. And just have this be just on top, I guess. So it's kind of like try and error just to like figure this out and go, okay, so maybe this needs to be at a different angle. Move these over. As well as this whole thing just need to be a little bit more on top, but also everything else needs to be on top. This just needs to be somehow right in between. There just isn't enough. Unless I put a cut between them. That might work. I could put a cut between these two. So what are they? They're the side and the front. I think if I just put beep and cut it. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then we'll just move this down. And then see what it looks like. Okay. So it's not horrible, but it's getting there. So I'll just need a lot more tweaking and a lot more cleanup to figure out what can work better. But there you go. So that's kind of like the gist of it, is that trying to get these to work harmoniously between each other. And the more pieces you have, obviously the more sort of technical trickiness of it. That it's like, okay, well now you gotta work with a lot more pieces, but you also get more freedom to work with a whole bunch more stuff. So in a sense that now I can work with this and go, okay, let's just have you on top, and then figure out what this looks like over here, and just kind of sculpt it like as if it was a hairdo. And I can move this over a little bit more if I want to. I'm gonna connect these and see what that looks like. Yeah. And so it'll just be up to adding more frames here to make all these work, and then doing the other side, make sure that this works. But I should be able to, in theory, hopefully be able to realign and move the pieces, change the deformers of the shape of them in some cases, and then change the positions obviously to make them look upward and downward. In this view, front, up, down, and then face this way, up, left, normal, up, down, and then bring that into a master controller to make sure that that works, and then that'll all then be baked into it, and then they should all follow along with the head. And so that's what it should look like. Obviously this isn't what it should look like, but the head rotating around is what what's going on. So but there we go. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to figure that out, and then I got distracted with the translating. Okay, let's go to toaster time. I was late on my bubbles. All right. So that's the day in the life of a puppet builder. It's extremely complex and very technical orientated. Of trying to do creative. How do you want to say it? It's technically creative. Kind of work. It's kind of stuff I like doing. This kind of stuff of building the puppets is really fun. Bye, Elijah. Thank you for coming. This is one of my favorite parts of making animations, is trying to design the characters to work and kind of see the character like come to life, of trying to add a whole bunch of different pieces together. Bye, John. Thank you for coming. Happy fates to you. Thank you. But yeah, trying to make the characters kind of have enough pieces and then try to create them is really fun. And I guess one of my favorite parts. Because then it's like, you can imagine all the possibilities of like, ooh, if I had this little control, I'll be able to do this, this times faster, or be able to do this quicker, more efficiently. Small stuff of like, ooh, if I have a control that can move both eyes at once, that'll save every single time that I need to move the eyeballs around. So instead of like, at the base level, instead of moving iris, highlight, pupil on one eye, and if I want to move both eyes, it's like, ooh, iris, highlight, pupil, iris, pupil for both of those, and select all those and click, 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 and then move it over one frame. Move it, go over a frame, and then select them all. So instead, you can have a control which is like a peg, and then have it can have a peg control all three of the parts of one eye, and then have a controller that control both of those eyes. So it's like nesting and creating a whole bunch of interesting connections that I think is really fun. I really like the node view. I knew a little bit about the node view before I got Toon Boom. Blender has a node view, but it's just for like doing the materials and shading. But I like the mix and matching and connections between the different pieces. I think that's my favorite part, is that it becomes this big, huge puzzle noodle mess, but it's like, obviously I made it, so it's like I know basically where almost everything is. So that helps a little bit, that I know where the eyes are and where the heads are, hair pieces are, and so that all just kind of speeds up the process of like going like, okay, I know where this is, and then it just comes up to figuring out the puzzle of like, I want this to sort of do what I did today, sort of puzzles of like, I want this hair to like connect between two different pieces, but I also wanted to like be able to be sandwiched between different other pieces. So it's like, what's the best way to have like the horn, you know, they're explaining that the horn needs to be somehow in front of the main hair, but then but then have main hair on top of it. So it's like, now I need to separate it into, you know, at least two pieces, and then trying to figure out like what's a Toon Boom specific way of like, ooh, I can have a cutter to have it be below where it can exist, but I also have it be larger in cases where I need to have it be shown at some angles. So yeah. Bye, Buttercup. Thank you. Hope you have a good day. Everyone else too. Can you go to bed? Hopefully. Yeah, I suppose. I'll try and I'll contain the fort. Secure the fort? I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll be fine if we need to. You did really good. Thank you for helping with everything. Thank you, Cookie. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you can go. Okay. Better the button, checking other things. I think I got an email. I'll have to check that later. Oops. Oh, no, that's okay. Oh, okay. Oh, my face broke. Wasn't looking. Fell off the camera. Let's see. So yeah, the plan is for next week. Whoop, 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 whoop. The next week will be another 2 streams, and then we'll work on the let's see. See you next week. Thank you, and see you next week, everyone else too. But I'll explain what will be happening next week. Is the I'll try and over the weekend finalize the puppets for Sunny and Izzy. I'll get those puppets hopefully in a decent enough place by Tuesday, so that we can just rock and roll straight from that. So that'll just be, I think Sunny is like 90% done. It might just be some cleanup, which means some little small stuff that's like, yeah, that's a little weird. So it's like, yeah, with the Master Controller hair gets popping in and out. So the interpolation kind of fizzles out and glitches out at some specific angles. So might be some ways impossible the way that I set it up, but we'll see. Is that a hello or goodbye, Two-Tailed? Hello. And goodbye. Either way. Good to see you be in chat. Yeah, so I'll have the puppets hopefully ready by Tuesday, and then I'll also get the have some extra ideas for the storyboard for the story. I'm thinking of adding one more shot, something to like round it out, where I have we have the first shot of Sunny doing something, maybe rollerblading. We'll figure that out. And then Izzy comes in with the rock, and then have a close up of the rock as a separate second shot, and then third shot is the reaction from Sunny. And then what I want to add is a fourth shot of a reaction of Izzy, and then she'll be do a Pinkie Pie smile, huge grin or something, and then that can round it out. And then that'll be it. So it'll be pretty, to my standards, pretty simple. But I'm sure as we go along, it'll be like having weird, I'm sure I'll have weird issues, regardless. So Oh well. We'll get there. But yeah, the more I can foresee some of those weirder issues, the better. Um, Stuff like having to make more mouths will probably be important. I think I got deformers on all the rest of the facial features, but I think I might need to make more body stuff. Um, and thank you, Post Cookie, for providing that pip turnaround. I didn't quite get what you meant by that. But yeah, that'll be important to look at and peruse through to see that the turnarounds look good. It's a good reference. Uh, let's see. Other probably like small stuff, like probably even palette stuff. Some of the colors probably just eye dropped and is like, probably isn't the most screen accurate one I could probably get. Probably has to go through the trailer and yeah, pick out some better colors or something. It's hard because it's like with 3D, it's like very um they're very affected by lighting more so than 2D. Because if you look at like Twilight Sparkle and G4, like between different scenes, shots and scenes at the same time, um, in different environments, like inside and outside, on different episodes, if you like color pick between her colors or palette, they'll most likely be 100% identical. But if you look at the trailer for the G5, it's like they're going to be very different between each second based on just the lighting. They'll be like have highlights and color correcting, movie color correction stuff of maybe one scene has like the one little segment of the montage. I'll not going to go into many spoilers, but there's this section where they go through a whole bunch of different traveling through all these different environments, and it's like they're getting lit by the different shading styles. I don't know what to call it. Where it's like in one environment, it's like, or they're lit by this warm light that's this color, but then there's a colder shot where they're lit by blue colors. So it's like if you just color pick between their skin or hair between those different environments, it's like, yeah, you'll get different colors, you know. So it becomes much more complicated to like figure out like what's their true colors, you know. That's what I'm waiting for, is to figure out if they have, you know, leaked models. And what I want to see is those leaked UV sheets so I can see the UV map, so I can see like what's the exact colors they have. Because even like, I'm looking at the references I have on screen right now, it's like, yeah, there's two different 3D rendered pictures, and it's like they look mainly the same, but it's like they're like seem like one's a little bit more saturated. It's hard to tell. It's like they're very similar, but it's like can't shake it that they're like slightly different. So like weird stuff like that is like might get a little bit tricky. There might be more arguments of like, well, she's this shade in colors, like, oh, you made a plushie and an artwork that's this color. How could you, you know? More so than like, you know, with G4 where it's like everything was flash and it's all like colors. There was no shading or lighting to affect what they are colored. So like weird stuff's gonna happen. And so the UV sheet is like the texture. I don't know how much you guys know about 3D and how that works. Is that if you have a 3D model, has the polygons and a geometry, and then there's the texture sheet that has more of the details and colors of it. Like the model might have, you can like set like a base color, and a certain like refractionness and how lighting affects it in a sense for a lot of 3D softwares. But yeah, to get the like decal sticker details onto a 3D model, you need a texture sheet. So the UV is the coordinates for the 2D texture space. So It's all very complicated, I guess. Yeah, I'm saying. I'm trying to explain it quickly and efficiently, but yeah, it's still tricky. But yeah, it just shows like UV sheet would be the exact colors, minus any lighting, before it gets through any post processing and any kind of shading and lighting. It'll be just what its base color is. So, yeah, it's hard to know what the base color. Even at this picture I'm looking at now, it's like, like the highlight looks good as a good color, but that's not, what their midtones are. It's a little bit darker, and of course the shadow's darker too. So it's kind of like, ooh, okay. So a lot of very weird stuff that a lot of very like technical stuff I have to like roll through, and then once we get past all that, then it just be just using the creative to like write animates and write the stories. So for right now I had to get through all the quagmire of the how am I gonna do this, very technical stuff, and try to get through all that to get to the fun part. So yeah. So hopefully by next Tuesday I'll have the all this all sorted out, and then we'll be able to have fun actually animating. I know one of you guys a while ago commented like, how do you animate? So I'll definitely you'll definitely see how that works in a week or so. But yeah, I think that's good. Let me get some water. I think most everyone left. Let me know if you're still here, or you don't have to. But yeah, if you had any more questions or anything else that you think is relevant to like what I made today, that would be good. Yeah, otherwise might just be not quite time for it yet, or I might answer it on a different time. But yeah, anything relevant to like what I did today that you had a question on, and then what I did today, that'd be good. Anyway, let's see now. I'll give you a little bit more time, but I think that'll probably wrap me up then. I'll keep working on the movie. Movie's actually going really well. It's a wonder once you start, once you finish making a 3D set, how faster progress seems to go. Of like, wow, I've spent time, so much time trying to make the this 3D model set, and then it's like, okay, now I can actually put the characters in and animate, and it's like, wow, that goes way quicker. So we got most of the sets fairly complete. Just kind of going through a rough pass of every shot right now, and just going through animating kind of simple stuff, or just a rough pass. Not animating when there's like a crowd shot. I'm not animating every crowd character yet. I'm just working on the main characters and just getting some basic timings and stuff. So for right now, it seems like I got pretty far. I think I'm about a minute into the chapter 5 animation, but it doesn't seem like I've really animated a whole minute yet. It seems like a lot of the shots are very slow, that I'm only like on shot 20. So like each shot is like 5 seconds or longer. So they're just a little bit slow, I guess. So it seems like there's not as many shots to make up a minute. Usually shots that I usually do are usually only like 2 to 3 seconds. So there's a sequence that I haven't animated yet that's kind of about that fast. So I might even go faster than what I'm working on now. Let's see. Yeah, it's already toast. Yeah, I'm just about done. Alright, Tornado. Yeah, legit. Thank you guys. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I'm just about done. I'm gonna wrap up in a bit. Let's see, it's 23. That's fine. So yeah, there's the movie poster. Check that out. Haha. Thank you, Cookie. That's not it. Yep, so I think I've said everything I'd probably like to say. Before I start repeating myself for anyone who missed it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Keep working on stuff, doing a lot of progress. I'll see if I have enough completed stuff or nicely rendered stuff I can share for Patreon. Maybe by this week or this weekend. I'll probably post something like for that. So if you'd like to see exclusive previews, get other goodies and rewards. I feel like I haven't really plugged the Patreon much. But yeah, Patreon link is in the description. It starts at $1 a month. So hopefully that's not too much, hopefully, for you guys. I know it's going to be tough, but yeah, it's going to be good for me to have your support. And not very good at let's see, advertising myself. Oh well. Yep, so if you want to dive through there, I explained it a little bit more cohesively in the Patreon link itself, on the post of that, on the main page of that. One of those. All right. Yeah, so those pictures and previews I'd like to keep exclusive to the Patreon, so definitely don't share them if you have access. Like to be for patrons' eyes only. Yeah, so this will be exclusive to Patreon, so they can have something to show that their support is actually going into something. And it definitely is. No question about that. So that's progressing. That's progressing and rolling well. So yep. Okie dokie. Thank you guys. Hope this was fun. I know we got very muddled with like trying to figure things out and puzzle solving. That's kind of the fun of it, is that you get to I feel like it's more human to have a tutorial or a video or stream that's like trying to actually figure things out rather than having to be the perfect version of it. So I think that's good to have, to show that, yeah, this is work and it's complicated and you just have to trudge through it and like figure things out as you go along. Won't have every single answer all the time. So I think that's good to step back and go like, oh yeah, I need to spend some time and figure things out, especially figure out the dynamic spring stuff, and spend some time watching other people figure it out, or do it perfectly and explain it, and then try to add it into my thing and see if it works, see if it gels well or if it's too much. But I'll try out that new thing. I think I tried it once, but it was just it was gonna be too complex for me to like really dive into really figure it out, that it would have took like 10 minutes, and it's like I'm not even done making the hair, drawing it. I think at that point that it was probably better to just move on. So anyway, I'm happy with it. I'm looking at it now and it looks nice. It's pretty unicorn. So there we go. Okay, anyway, thank you guys. Okay, big hug. Thank you guys for watching. If you came in late, there's the whole VOD. You can watch that up on my channel. Have a playlist called live streams, so you can just watch from there. There's like 200 or 250, who knows how many live streams I have so far on here, and you can catch up. So yeah, let's see. I don't think there's anything else, so thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back next week. Thank you guys. Alright, bye guys. Bye bye. Yeah. Whoop.